shift gears and talk matters e-commerce, and I'm now joined by Ian Hashmart, who is the product manager at Hashmart, and of course a lecturer at Kemu University. Well, let's bring in some context to this conversation. E-commerce currently is valued at just about 10 billion shillings in Kenya and has experienced rapid growth. In recent years, e-commerce sales are expected to grow 10 times in value terms over the next 4 years, based on a conservative benchmark of how the industry has evolved in other parts of the world. Many thanks, Ian, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Abby.
Well, as one of the key players in matters to do with e-commerce, we've seen the numbers speak volumes. 10 billion transacted on e-commerce. Say, by the close of this year, what should we expect?
Well, growth is imminent due to the increase of trust. At least as of right now, many Kenyans are buying products online. And actually, that should reflect, actually, by the end of the year, if we are 10 billion right now, a smooth projection of around 2 billion extra to have 12 billion by the end of the year, but it can be higher.
All right. And talk to us about opportunities in e-commerce.
Well, e-commerce actually is a very big sea of, let me say, business. That is both in customer to customer. We have companies which actually you go post a product there and then a client goes and pick up a product from there. We have a customer, business to customer. This is where actually you go and buy a product direct from, that is our website. And then we have business to other business. This is where a business buys product to go to another business. So in that context, actually, I would say that right now, for example, here in Kenya, and us as youth, we're looking into niching of our products. Right now, the biggest players actually are, the biggest player in this industry actually have, can I say, umbrellaed literally all the products. But we have new entrants which are coming into the environment, and actually they are niching, getting a small niche of selling a product. For example, if you want to major on shoes, you go on shoes. If you want to major on, let me say, like electronics, for example, like hashmart, you go on electronics. Yeah.
And looking at the evolution of retail in the country, are there platforms that are readily providing opportunities for people to sell things online over and above what we currently have, the Jumias of this world, OLX? Are we looking at Kenya getting to the level where Amazon is?
Yes, thank you very much for that. Actually, let me say, like, we have several other platforms which actually are giving out opportunities to local vendors to sell their products in. For example, like we have a company called Hashmart, for example, which actually it has niched on electronics. And actually, besides that, let me say, like, they do sell these products. We have other services, because e-commerce isn't only about buying products. We have offering services. For example, like we have the little cab for Safaricom, for example. These where you can be able to do get a cab just like an Uber, for example. Yeah, we have quite a number of companies which can do the same. Yeah.
And looking world over, retail, as much as malls are coming up, the real dynamics are that retail is going to grow in Africa because of the fast-growing middle class. Also, for African countries like Kenya, we have a very robust ICT framework in the country where internet penetration is pretty high. And is it worrying for people putting up malls? Because at the end of the day, if we realize 70% of Kenyans currently actually have smartphones.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Abe. Technology is evolving. And internet actually, let me say, it's following technology. Literally, internet is literally the technology we're talking about here. We are moving People right now would prefer to do or to buy their products at convenience of their homes. And actually, recently I saw, let me say, another, should I say, like another retail actually, let me say, like building an online platform, because they understand at the end of the day, actually, people would love to work at their own comfort of their homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Many thanks, Ian, for those great insights on the retail sector. And of course, this is an area that continues to grow tremendously here in the country. Well, just before we wrap up the show, we want to tease you on what to expect. Well, this week on the Trading Bell, we host Java CEO Paul Smith, who shares insights into the coffee business in Kenya and why they may be considering to list at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Well, here now is a sneak peek of that interview that is coming up after this break.